I believe that if you carry yourself well, and you have assets, it's very easy for me to come up to you and be like, okay, my name is Anchie, I have ABCD, blah, blah, blah. I need assets that back that up. I think every influencer or any brand out there needs a profile. If it's certificates you've gotten or some sort of job you did that gives you something in return, then put it out there.
Hello and welcome to the AOU podcast, Entrepreneur Leadership in Africa, where we explore more on being a bold entrepreneur leader. I'm your host, Savannah Olo, and today I have with me Anchie Ng'inja. Anchie is a talent manager at Soul Generation Records, a label founded by the award-winning Sauti Sol. She's been in the artist management industry for over 5 years with artists such as Nviri, Bensol, and Vanessa Mdee under her rapport. Rarely do we see the business side of being a creative. There are a lot of misconceptions that come with building a brand, let alone managing it. Well, Anchie is here to give us everything artist management, balance, and hobbies, just to mention a few. Do you know what it takes to build a successful brand? How invested should you be to be a talent manager? We also find out some of the lessons she's learned over the years. Want to know more? Stay tuned and know it all. Join us as we uncover a whole new world from our diverse community of entrepreneur leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Anchie Ng'inja. So, Anchie.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for being with us here on the AOU podcast.
I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to be in your home as well.
Yes, welcome to my bedroom studio. This is my wig.
We'd love to hear it. Yeah. So, anyway, I decided to kick off the episode with a small icebreaker.
Okay.
And the question is, what is the scariest thing that you've had to do, and what did you learn from it?
The scariest thing I had to do is making the decision to be a mom, very young. And what I've learned from it is that it is actually the best gift ever. Shout out to Kwanzaa, my baby, my one and only. But that's it. It was a lesson learned. Like, I ain't having no more babies. No thanks. It's a wrap.
So, okay. We're going to get straight into the episode. And today we're going to be talking about just being in the creative industry, what you've learned, how it's really built on your character as an entrepreneur leader as well.
Okay.
Because this thing is essentially just, being a talent manager is essentially just venturing out on your own and learning how to pitch yourself to certain brands to promote their brands.
100, yeah.
So, growing up, did you ever...
That's a really good definition, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Thank
like
you very
that
much.
a lot. Yeah, it is.
So, growing up, did it ever occur to you that you'll be in this space for creatives, and how did you get here?
Okay, so as a young girl, now that I look back, I can think about it and see like kind of the direction I took.
Yeah.
I did a lot of ballet and singing and music classes, and I can't sing for shit. But I was always into arts and painting and drawing and a lot of music. I was into music a lot, especially because of my dad. My dad loves music.
Yeah.
And I never did I think like it was a career path. But growing into it, I've seen how it really can be, how it is actually, because it is my career, I would say. Yeah. But I think it's also something that has come with new age stuff. Okay. Like, I don't think this is something that was a big deal years
back
ago.
In the day,
Yeah. So like now I know of people like Fela Kuti's manager, and only now, and he's an old man, and only now is when I appreciate his work. Yeah. Back then, not really. Now we are able to sell ourselves because people understand who is behind the brand.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we get a bit of a peep into being seen for what you're working towards. But I didn't ever sit down and be like, oh my God, when I grow up, I want to be a talent manager. No.
No, because it didn't even sound like a viable conversation with your
what
parents.
is that? I'm just like, what? There's no such thing like that. Yeah. I wanted to be the president's wife. Period. Or a cartoon. I remember at some point I wanted to be a cartoon. Yeah. It's like, I want to be a cartoon on the TV. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's that creative side, maybe, you know? Yeah, that. And my parents allowed it for me to just be wild and free and like create all these imaginary future of mine, unlike my sisters who wanted to be doctors and lawyers and all these, book smart
engineers and everything.
Yeah. That's not me.
I mean, obviously, even though you had the support of your parents, you'd have also put yourself in a scenario where you'd be doing a 9 to 5 right now.
Yeah.
So what would you say was the motivation for you to get out there and really just put yourself into other people's brands and build it in the process as well?
So let me take you back a bit. In college, I did early child development.
Okay.
And that has to do with child psychology. And I did it under the Montessori system. So I was, at some point, a kindergarten teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, for maybe like 2-3 years. But I'm very, I can't sit in one, I'm very fussy. I don't know what the word is, like kind of all over the place. And I do not prosper with monotony.
Okay.
Doing the same thing over and over and using the same principle and etc., which is what teaching has a lot to do with. So in, I think, my second year of teaching, I met a friend who had an events company, and I was just like, listen, let me just try and see how this goes. And that's how I initially entered the entertainment scene. So it wasn't something I ever dreamed of, because even entering the entertainment scene, I had never gone to school and been told, like, to be an events organizer is A, B, C, D. None of that. Everything I've learned in the industry is out of experience. Yeah.
So you've managed like Vanessa Day, Soul Generation.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us how you got this.
Wow. Okay, so I did my pre-university at Catholic University.
Okay.
And while I was there, I met Vanessa. She was studying law, her first year of law.
Yeah.
And we became really good friends. Like, just, she'd come straight from Tanzania. And I think during registration, me and my girlfriend were chilling, and she was right there, and she was alone. And I was like, yeah, come, let's hang out. And we became really good friends. And then her dad passed away. And she decided, or felt like she wanted to follow her heart. And her heart really was in entertainment. So she went into being an MTV VJ. And once she started music, I was really like on her ass a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know, I want to see where you're going. What are you up to? How can I help? etc. And then she was like, you know what, let's just do this. When I'm traveling, you can be my road manager. So that was my first job in brand management, quote unquote, was road management, which means anytime she would travel outside of her country, I would be the one who represents her. So I would travel with her.
Okay.
And she did a lot of traveling outside the country. And so that's how I got into it with Vanessa. And, 4-5 years later, we were still into it. And now she's in love. So I had to find a new job. Yeah. So I looked in East Africa, and I thought, like, I mean, the cream of the crop really is Sauti Sol, especially in Kenya.
Right.
And there's no way I was going lower than Vanessa Mdee. So I thought this is like the best I could get. And I spoke to BN, who was already a friend of mine. And then I got Soul Generation.
Great.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
So what would you say has been balancing the lifestyles been like you're into entertainment, at the same time you're a mom, at the same time you're someone's daughter, you're someone's sister, you're someone's friend. So how do you balance relationships? How do you balance your lifestyles?
You don't. You don't. So I am on the way out of the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to say that too strongly, because I might get an offer.
And you might not get it.
That I'm just like, listen, my kid can go to the school I want him to, and they pay that, and it's cool.
Yeah.
And so I'm really trying to be on my way out, because the entertainment industry sucks the life out of you.
Yeah.
You sleep, drink, dream, breathe, swim, everything entertainment. Yeah. You're always seen as that. Everyone thinks you're constantly available for a call. Everyone thinks, like, they disregard anything else about you. You're just Anchie, manager of Soul Generation, works for Sauti Sol. Like, that is you, and that's it. And that's all they're going to take, and never understanding that you might need time for someone else. And because I have such I'm crazy about getting stuff done. So what happens then is that I'll sometimes be with my son and we're hanging out and a call comes in and I had sworn I'm not going to take it, but then I think about, I'm like, oh snap, it might be a gig calling in, and I need to make money for my boys and I need to make money for myself, and I'll take it, forgetting that I'm putting my son aside, even though it's just a little bit, and taking the job over, everything else, because it really is a passion-driven job. If you're not passionate about it, about the music, about the brands that you're representing, then you really can't do it. And that means you cannot half-ass anything. You have to give your all. So you don't balance, period. You just give. And that's me as a brand manager. So I can only imagine, like, the artist, like, you're sacrificing everything for people you don't even know.
Including your privacy.
Like, that is a big sacrifice. It really is. It really is. So balancing is hard. I think it's a job for someone young, maybe single. It gets to a point where you really can't. You get to a point where you have to choose. It's either my personal life or I keep going with this fast-paced life.
So we've seen on social media the loss of upcoming influencers in Kenya.
Yes.
What would you say? What advice did you give them to try to keep their brands fresh in the market, or sort of safe keeps to ensure that, when they're getting out there, they're delivering to the top of their game?
So I think one thing is that image is everything. I believe that if you carry yourself well, and you have assets that back up your stuff, it's very easy for me to come up to you and be like, okay, my name is Anchie, I have ABCD, blah, blah, blah. I need assets that back that up. I think every influencer or any brand out there needs a profile, some sort of a CV, backup, if it's certificates you've gotten or some sort of job you did that gives you something in return, then put it out there. I think that's really important and something that people really, disregard, because when you start working with the bigger brands, they want to see those things, So it's better when you're at the beginning, create your profiles, your CV, make it very official for that end of it. It's not only just looking cute on Instagram that
so
works.
Basically, you have to be able to do the admin work when you're getting into
that's
it.
That's the word. Yeah, that admin is so important and something so many people disregard. But it'll take you far. It will. It really will.
All right. So, how can creative music artists maintain a level of excellence and not only break out on the global scene, but also ensure consistency?
So you've said the word yourself. I think consistency is key. Consistency in everything. You have to, your image is everything. One day you're going to post an image where you look like crap. And then the next day you want to show how you look amazing. Unfortunately, consistency in looking good is key. Yeah. It doesn't matter what anyone says. Oh, there are some days I'm feeling okay. It doesn't matter. Even when the CEO of Safaricom is feeling some type of way, Safaricom is not going to post, a crap picture because you have to place yourself up here, Yeah. So that's one. And then, so that's one image. Two is your art.
Right.
As a singer. If you do not exercise your voice, there's nothing you're doing. When you're a swimmer or a soccer player, you're going to be on that pitch every day, working out, blah, 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 getting yourself together, ready for that big match. You see your music as that big match, You have to prepare your voice. You have to prepare by dance class. You have to prepare by performance class. You have to prepare. Keep writing, keep trying. Consistency in that will get you to where you want to be. Practice makes perfect. It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
This podcast is brought to you by Venture by ALU, a free course for entrepreneurs. Do you want to know how to overcome entrepreneurial challenges from real-life experiences? Well, Venture is an online course designed for young and aspiring entrepreneurs. It features more than 10 ALU entrepreneur leaders who will guide and inspire young entrepreneurs. You can find Venture on venture.alueducation.com. Once again, venture.alueducation.com. Venture, a course for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. Now back to our conversation. All right, so obviously being a talent manager, you're the mom, you're the sister, you're the friend. What is a typical day like for you?
Okay. So I currently am co-parenting with my son's dad.
Yeah.
Which is going better than a lot of people told me it would go. Yeah. You know, that's one thing that has really taught me to travel my own journey. People will have all sorts of comments and ideas of your life, but you know, they can't get it. So when he's with me, I'm up early as usual, hit the gym, maybe like 2 hours, come back home, take a shower, have breakfast with my son. Then I head to the studio, Soul Generation Studio. In the mornings, I like to cover the admin side of it.
Okay.
So if there's any petty cash I've used, I log those in. If any finances have been taken from me or around me, I hate math, and everybody at my job knows it. So I try to keep intact with everything. I've been given Excel sheets with formulas that I don't even know how they work, but I just log those things in. I know where to log them in. So I try to finish the boring stuff in the morning.
Right.
Cover my emails usually. So I cover 3 email addresses of the company. The first one is my personal one, Anchie at Soul Gen. And then the other one is for bookings. Bookings is usually quite busy. So from festivals to small events to weddings to birthday parties, there's always someone just asking something.
Yeah.
And also in the bookings email, there's a lot of people who want to be signed by the label.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is so and so. Please listen to my stuff. Da, 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 da. And for the record, we do listen to some.
Yeah. Just to put it out
there. If you get
there.
lucky, yeah, like we're gonna on one random day when I have time, I'm gonna just go through those emails and listen to stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's the PR one, which runs the media, so interviews and stuff. So I clear that. I try to clear that by at least 1 p.m. Because at the studio, from 1 p.m., the creatives check in, and like at that time, it's really hard to get into the admin. So I walk around with my notebook, and if there's anything that I need to jot down, I just put it in, log it in, but I allow myself to just experience the creative side of the industry from 1 p.m. going forwards. Then I come home. When my son is here, I'm probably home by 6, 7 p.m., depending on the schedules for the boys, for the artists, and cook dinner and spend time with my family. When my son is not here, I have a lot of more time to do stuff outside label, so just like my social media, try to plan on my future, how I can monetize from it. I have quite a growing audience, which is great, and I want to learn more on how to monetize it. I mean, who doesn't want to make money?
100%.
Yeah, so that's kind of like what my days are like.
So from your experience raising your son to nurture his talent in music, how should parents guide and nurture their children to join the creative industry?
Okay, so I think it's not something that should be pushed on a kid.
Okay.
I think that any extracurricular activity outside of school should not be... I mean, you could give your kid the experience, like say, I'm going to take him to piano classes every Saturday for the next month, and then gauge how the child feels. Because I think most of the time, parents make an assumption, or they want their child to do what they want.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's going to be like, you look like you could be a soccer player. Now you're going to be going for soccer every day. And then they just like, they'll now do it for the parent, which I don't feel is right. For my son, I wouldn't I think every parent has their own journey. So this is not like textbook, but for my son, he's been exposed to the industry since he was born. His dad is in the media industry, event planner, DJ, manager, for years. And me being an artist manager has Kwanzaa around artists all the time.
Yeah, so he's more inclined to it because he interacts with it.
Yes, yeah. Okay. So he has experience with it. He sees how things are done. And slowly, as I really push him to do like research and stuff, and his dad got him like a little studio situation in his room. That's and so cute. He makes beats. He like makes beats and raps over them, gibberish, but like he's learning about melodies and stuff. And I strongly believe in like 10,000 hours. You know, when they say if you do something for 10,000 hours, you kind of like perfect it.
Yeah, you become a master at it.
He's getting there already, you know. And he has support from people like BN, which that's like the king of music, you know, ready to like support my son and hold his hand through it. So, and you see that for me, that has nothing to do with it. I have no idea. I can't sing. I told you, what? I sing in the shower, but that's about it. But it's what my son is interested in. And so I'll try to support him however I can to get to what he wants, which he still doesn't know. But yeah.
You move regardless.
Yes.
So thinking about that, I mean, we've talked about your son, your experiences managing different brands. You've been in this game for 7 years, I'd like to say.
Yes.
So any future prospects?
So I think I'm still really, really trying to think about it.
Yeah.
So there's this, I'm in a docu-reality series called Soul Family.
Yeah.
And Soul Family had an episode where they showcased who I am and
what you're about.
Exactly, you know, what I'm doing and the artist management side of it. From the day that episode came out, the number of DMs I get from people who are looking for artist management, and not only musicians, I'm talking anyone in creative, vloggers, podcasters, musicians as well, dancers, bands. My DM is flocked with people who are looking for someone who can represent them. So I believe so strongly that this is one of those jobs that will be a big thing in the next, I could even give it like 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
As the industry grows and becomes more structured, because right now,
no, it's not working out.
There's no structure.
But look at what you've been able to accomplish as people's brand managers.
That's true. Yeah. Like I am a slave to structure.
Right.
So wherever I go, if there's no structure in place, I create one for myself.
Right.
And of course I have to make sure that it works with the company or the brand or whatever. But generally, I don't feel this structure. So I think once those structures are put in place, but it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. We're getting there. People are seeing more and more reason to invest in it.
Yeah.
And I think also investors always have a hard time investing in something that doesn't have structure, because then they don't understand how they're going to get their money back.
Yeah.
But once those are in place, I think artist management will grow and develop to be.
I think also because really talent is more of a space where people are now showing the processes.
Exactly.
And not showing that it just doesn't take being in the studio to produce a hit song. There's a whole team behind it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So back to the question. Any future prospects you may have?
I was like, yeah. At the moment, no.
Yeah.
No, not really. I'm really concentrating on myself. And because I feel I'm really good at managing a brand, I want to see how I can do with my own brand.
Right.
Yeah. So to see how far I can go. And I think also with that experience of doing it on myself, the management, then I'll get an even broader understanding, because I'm not a musician. I've worked mostly with musicians.
Right.
And mine would be like from the perspective of an influencer. So I'll then understand what it does take, and the kind of like expectation the influencer would have on me, you know? Does that make sense? Yeah. So just kind of like learning as I go. Will I manage another musician? Oh, I don't think
Probably, you know, I'm a musician.
Let's see how it goes. Yeah, I think I would I'd love to have a brand management company.
Right.
So I'm not directly working with one person, because I could be really obsessive. Yeah. So I think I need to give it a break for a little bit and then see where it goes from there. By next year, we could have this again and see where we at. You know. Yeah.
All right, great. So I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for being with us.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
And that was Anchie, Soul Generation's talent manager, on what her experiences have been like being in the creative industry, specifically entertainment. Watch out for exciting new opportunities as she ventures into building her personal brand as well. Aside from music industry insights today, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. You can find us on Spotify, Anchor, and Apple Podcasts for exclusive access to all the gems of knowledge we drop here. Remember to subscribe to this podcast on your preferred platform. This is the AOU Podcast, Entrepreneur Leadership in Africa. Real stories, real experiences.